Namaskar. Welcome to this session on how to have acceptance, surrender, and balance in our life in this series on Bhagavad Geeta in daily life. So, serenity or peace comes when we trade our expectations for acceptance. If we try to keep a lot of expectations from others, that creates a lot of friction, creates a lot of pain and miseries for us. But if we learn to develop acceptance and we try to reduce our expectations from others, that can help us and bring us a lot of serenity. So let us see what Bhagavad Gita tells us about this. In the second adhyaya, where before starting the real teaching, Shri Krishna, Arjuna actually surrenders to Krishna. And this is a very, very famous shloka. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava. Arjuna says, I'm filled with my faint-heartedness. I don't know what is the best thing to do. I'm confused about my duty. He accepts this in front of Krishna that though I am such a brave warrior, but currently now I'm so confused. I don't know what is the right thing to do. That's why he says, Yat shreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me. You tell me definitely what is the most beneficial for me. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. He tells Krishna that please accept me as your disciple. I bow down to you. I surrender to you. Teach me. Tell me what is the right thing to do. Give me guidance. Give me this, your teachings, your lessons. And that is what he asks. So this kind of humility, this kind of simplicity, this kind of acceptance, this kind of surrender is a must if we want to improve and develop and progress in our life. And this we have to, whenever we are faced with such circumstances towards a teacher, towards a mentor, or towards somebody who is respected, somebody who is going to show us the light, we have to accept this by way of humility. So how can I accept to be a student? Acceptance is the first step to change. If we are not able to accept ourselves, we try to force ourselves, and that does not happen. That does not make us to change for the better. So acceptance or accepting the Shishyotva is the first step towards change. And here the role of the teacher, role of the guru is also important, because the teacher shows us the way, and we need a lot of love and respect for the teacher. We have to have some gratitude, some respect for the teacher who knows more than us. We have to accept that we need to know more. And that desire is the first step for learning. If we don't have a desire to change, don't have a desire to learn, then we will never change. We will just keep on living in the same way that we keep living. And surrender is very, very important to understand this knowledge, this divine knowledge that Bhagavan Krishna is telling. We cannot but understand without having the faith and without having the surrender to that divine energy. Shri Krishna also in the second adhyaya tells Arjuna that in these lives you will have many ups and downs in life. Matra sparshastu kaunteya. O kaunteya, O Arjuna, when the sense organs, our jnanendriya comes in contact with all the objects, there are this experience, this feeling of all the dualities of this world, like heat, cold, shita, ushna, sukha, dukkha, pleasure and pain. In our mind we feel this. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are unhappy, sometimes we have pleasure, sometimes we have pain. All these dualities are there in life. But the solution is to understand that agama apayana anityaha. They are anitya. They are agama apayana, means they come and go. They are all transient. They don't remain for a long period of time. And that's why Bhagavan Krishna tells Arjuna, Tan titikshasva bharata. So you endure them. Make your nature in such a way that you develop your endurance, sahanshilta, and then try to forbear this kind of situation so that you can pass through this, because they will come and go. So whatever we need to do, we should do it. We should accept the situation, but don't complain, don't blame others for the situation that we are in. And that is what Shri Krishna tells Arjuna. Again, the next shloka he says that be unperturbed, be equanimous, samatva in all the situations. He says, Yam hina vyathayante. That's this person, the Dhira Purusha, that wise person who is a discriminating person. Dualities, they don't affect them. and they remain equanimous in all these dualities like pleasure and pain. They don't get overjoyed when they have a pleasure. They don't get very, depressed or disappointed when they have pain. Amrutatvaya kalpate saha. That person is only eligible for attaining this divine knowledge, the self-knowledge. And this viveka is very important, and some kind of self-restraint, sanyama, is also extremely vital. So in the second adhyaya, Shri Krishna says, sowing the seeds of karma yoga, he says, sukha dukkhe same krutva. In having equanimity in pleasure, pain, labha labho jaya jayo. Having that equanimity in the profit and loss, success and failure, because these dualities are a part of our life. Tata yudhaya vichya. So if you fight this battle, O Arjuna, ne evam papam avapsasi. You won't get any sin. You won't be bound to these actions. You'll be able to remain unattached, and you will do your best. And this is where he's sowing the seeds of karma yoga, which is yet to come in the second adhyaya. So what are these attitudes of karma yoga that Shri Krishna talks about? One is that we should spring from our inaction to our action. Akarma se karma. Laziness is something that our scriptures never tolerate, never prescribe. We have to be in action. Karma is the path. Ultimately, we have to go to nivrutti, but ultimately it has to go through pravrutti, marg. And then doing actions according to the values, according to the dharma karma, according to our kartavya, according to our duties. What is the correct thing to do? What is the right thing to do? And that is what we should do. What is something that is not the right thing to do, we should avoid doing. Like addictions, like wrong habits, we should avoid. And then gradually elevating ourselves to more and more selfless actions, which are called nishkam karma. That is one of the important attitudes of karma yoga. Surrender to the Lord, Ishwararpana bhava. Whatever we do it as if an offering to the Lord. With this bhava, we can do all of our actions. And when we receive the phala, the results of our actions, we have this prasada buddhi, samatva buddhi, and this helps to cleanse our antakarana shuddhi, our mind. It becomes more pure. And with this acceptance and understanding, prasada buddhi, this softens our own strong likes and dislikes, our raga, dvesha. They dissolve gradually, and then only we are able to understand this Atma Jnana. So this equanimity is synonymous with karma yoga, which Bhagavan Shri Krishna says in this shloka, which is after the Karmanya Vadikaraste, which is the 47th shloka. This is the 48th shloka, where Bhagavan tells Arjuna that be committed to karma yoga. Don't be attached to your results of action, which is already said in the previous shloka, Karmanya Vadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. The same thing is telling Arjuna here, that yogastha kuru karmani, be committed to karma yoga. Sangam tyaktva, don't be attached to the results of your action. Siddhi siddhyo samo bhutva, be poised in success and failure. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam itself is yoga. That samatva bhavana, that equanimous itself is a karma yoga. And how can we develop this equanimity? Samatva is not in actions, because all our actions are very, very different. Whatever we do, keep doing is very different. But in the results, whenever we get the results of the action, we need to have this samatva. And for this, we need to accept the higher power in our life. Ishvara ka svikar karna zaruri hai. We need to think, if this nature is so beautiful, how beautiful is the creator, and that there has to be a beautiful creator to this beautiful creation. With this understanding, we should have faith in this divinity who maintains this order in the universe, and he has created many, many laws in this universe. One of them is the karma phala. According to our actions, whatever we reap, we sow. Similarly, we get karma phala. We also need to understand that Lord or divinity is the observer. Karmadhyaksha follows all our karma, sitting inside us as an antaryami, and decides our fate by giving karma phala data. And to this divinity we surrender that Ishwararpan, and remember by doing smarana, nam smarana, japa smarana while we are in action, and acceptance of the results, karma phala, with the prasada buddhi we share with others, then only we can move forward on this journey. In the second adhyaya, in the Sthita Prajna Prakarana, when Arjuna asked, what is that wise person? How does they respond in this world? Then also Bhagavan Shri Krishna says, Dukkeshu anudvigna manaha. They are not agitated in grief or sorrow. Sukkeshu vigata spruhaha. They have no longing, attachment for happiness or joy. If they are having joy, they don't feel that this joy should remain with me all the time. They don't have that kind of a spruha, that kind of attachment. Vitaraga Bhaya Krodha. They are free from all these attachments, fear and anger. And that person can only become a Sthita Prajna, person who is very wise, who is steady in this wisdom of the scriptures. So acceptance, attitude of Karma Yoga, Prasada Buddhi, the shloka tells us the third adhyaya, which is the Karma Yoga adhyaya, Yagna Shishta Sinasanto Muchyante Sarvakil Vishayi Bhunjate Te Togam Papa Ye Pachanti Atma Karana. Whatever remains after this Yagna Karma Prasad, and that person who eats this is relieved of all the sins. But those sinful people who Pachanti Atma Karana, they cook only for themselves, that means they do only all selfish karma. They eat only sins, they are aghayu, indriya ramo, they are agama, they eat only sins. So acceptance and prasada buddhi is very, very important to see karma phala as a prasad, as an offering from the Lord. And whenever we go to a temple, somebody gives us prasada, we always accept as it is and we share with others. That is how we should share all our karma phala. So while doing actions, Ishwararpana bhava, to become egoless, while receiving the fruits of the action, have prasada buddhi, where there is no expectations, no complaints for results. Being large-hearted, we keep loving, sharing and caring. And this only creates a clean mind in ourselves, which gives us the real peace and happiness that we also desire. So peace only comes with acceptance, not with expectations, and that's why we should try to understand how we should be accepting in our life. So this wise person has this equanimous vision. In the 5th adhyaya, Bhagavan talks about this. He says that the wise person sees oneness in the wise or humble Brahmin, or in the cow, elephant, or a dog, an outcast. And all this, their vision is the same. Of course, their conduct is different. They don't behave the same way with different people, but their vision, because they are able to see that one tattva after behind all these different manifestations. So how can we see this oneness in all these manyness or all these differences? How can we remain equipoised, samatva? For a sadhaka, aspirant, then this is a means, sadhana, to achieve. Whereas for the accomplished person, for the sadhya, it is also the goal, it is the sahaja, the oneness or the equipoise or samata. And for the unwise, due to the raga, dvesha, they see all these differences. Whereas a wise person does not have these raga, dvesha, the strong likes and desires or dislikes are not there, and that's why he's able to see oneness everywhere. So this one divinity we need to see behind all the different names and forms that we see in this world, and this is ultimately our sadhana. That indwelling divinity is one everywhere, and this depends on our vision whether to see one or many. 7th adhyaya, Bhagavan says that those who do a lot of efforts and come to my shelter, they are delivered from the old age, death, and attain immortality. So they know me as my Brahma Swarupa, my original self, Bhagavan says, which is complete and which is also the Adhisthana, the substratum of the Jiva as Atma, and which is also the sense of the actions, all the Jagata, Karma, Khilam, everything is Brahma. And that is what Bhagavan is telling us. If we see this one Tattva which pervades behind everything in this world, universe, Jeev, Jagat and Jagdisha, then we can relieve ourselves from the fear of old age and death. And this Jara Marana, this Dukkha, this fear of Jara, old age and death, everybody has this, and this is one of the basic fears for all of us, the root of all the fears through which other fears develop. And that's why we need to take help of this understanding that we are not helpless. It is not unavoidable. That is how we can have an acceptance of this. And death is also an unavoidable reality. We need to understand this. Both old age and death are of the body. They are not my death. I am different from this body. That is the understanding. All changes happen in this body, not in me. I am completely different. And only this spirituality can change our attitude with this understanding and then make our life as a celebration. And death also will be made peaceful with acceptance. So understand the divine and surrender to that divinity. In the 18th Adhyaya, Bhagavan tells us to take shelter of the divine by all means. By his grace, Bhagavan says, you shall attain divine bliss and you shall attain my eternal abode. That is the moksha. That is the final freedom from all our limitations. So we should let go of the shelter of our ego, our misconceptions, and surrender to the divine, and that will take care of us. So the choice is mine to change my life or not. where I want to do pravrutti, where I want to do nivrutti, what I want to do, what I don't want to do, what kind of actions I should do, what kind of actions I should not do, what is the right thing to do, what is my dharma, what is not appropriate, what is adharma, all this, how to imbibe our moral values, Devi Sampatti, how to renounce our Asuri Sampattis, the choice is completely mine. And if I do this, this will change my life. It is up to me that this, whether I am bound by natural laws, Paratantra, or I have the freedom to choose how I use this free will of mine that will take me from the prayer, from the worldly success to the divine or the Shreya, that is a divinity success. So finally, in the 18th Adhyaya, Bhagavan asks Arjuna whether your moha has been destroyed or not. And Arjuna completely surrenders to Shri Krishna and says, Tvat prasadat, with your grace, O Krishna, my moha, nashta moha, my delusion, all my moha has been completely destroyed. I have come back to my senses and I am now steady without any doubt. And I shall do, karishye vachanam tava. He says, I shall do whatever you tell me to do. And that's after hearing the message. He said that now the purpose of Gita is served. All my moha has been destroyed. All my shoka, moha, dukkha, everything has gone away. I surrender to you. He starts with the surrender, Shishyasteham Shadimam Tam Prapanam, and ends with the surrender. He says, Karishye Vachanam Tava. I shall do whatever you say. And that's why it shows that only happiness will only come in acceptance and in surrender. To remain balanced in our life, that is the only way to become happy. So to summarize, Shishyasteham, Shri Krishna accepts to be a disciple. Only then Shri Krishna told the entire message, this divine message. For so many years, he did not reveal this message. Only when Arjuna accepted to become his disciple, this message was given to him. And all these dualities of this world, all this that we have to undergo, bear, this dukkha, lots of problems in this world. We sometimes ask, why me? Bhagavan, why me? But Bhagavan tells us that they are agama paina, nityaha, tanti tikshasva. You endure them because they are all transient, they'll come and go, they are not going to stay with you for a long period of time. And how we can remain equanimous in all these dualities of pleasure, pain, and then we only become eligible for the higher goal. And samatva itself is karma yoga, samatvam yoga uchyate. And that's why the Pandita, the wise people, they see the oneness in all these many variations of this world. And that is only possible by taking the shelter of the divine and doing whatever Lord wants us to do through Him, that we take all decisions accordingly. So acceptance, surrender and balance is the road to happiness in life, and we should try to embrace this road so that we can be really happy. With this, I end this presentation and pay my gratitude and respects to the Lord, with whose grace everything is possible. I pray to this Guru Shishya Parampara through which this knowledge is transferred to teach us. I pay my respects to my Guruji, Pujya Guruma, with whose grace I am able to learn the scriptures and share this understanding with you. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parah Brahma Asmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.